Have you ever felt like, even though you're walking every day and trying to stay active, your energy just isn't what it used to be? Maybe you've been thinking, I'm exercising regularly, so why do I feel more tired, more achy? If you're in your 70s or beyond, you're definitely not alone in wondering that. We've all been told for years that walking is the best exercise for older adults. It's simple, it's low impact, and it doesn't cost a thing. And yes, walking can do wonders for your heart, your blood pressure, and even your mood. But, and this may surprise you, after age 70, walking too much or walking the wrong way might actually be doing more harm than good. Instead of keeping you young and healthy, it could be speeding up the aging process. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But this isn't just a rumor. It's a growing concern among doctors who specialize in aging and rehabilitation. After 70, your body simply doesn't recover the way it used to. Your joints are more fragile, your muscles are less resilient, and your circulation isn't as efficient. If you're still following an exercise routine that worked for you 10 or 20 years ago, chances are you're unknowingly putting too much strain on your body. So what exactly does too much mean? Well, it depends on the person. But generally, doctors caution that if you're over 70 and walking for more than an hour a day, especially on hard surfaces like pavement, without brakes, and in unsupportive shoes, then you could be increasing wear and tear on your knees, hips, and lower back. That often leads to chronic pain, inflammation, sore muscles, and even balance issues that make you more likely to fall. I know a 75-year-old gentleman who used to walk 10,000 steps a day without fail. He thought he was doing the best thing for his health. But after a few months, he started having knee pain, stiffness in his back every morning, and fatigue that just wouldn't go away. When he finally went to the doctor, they found that his knees were wearing down from repetitive overuse, and he was told to cut back on walking and give his body time to rest. So yes, walking is good, but walking too much, especially without the right support and brakes, can be counterproductive. At this stage of life, your body needs movement that's gentle, flexible, and gives time for recovery. Constant overexertion can cause tiny muscle tears that don't heal properly. Your joints get compressed without release, and your immune system stays in a constant state of low-grade stress, trying to repair everything. What's even more concerning is that many older adults ignore warning signs. They assume that joint pain after walking is just a normal part of aging, but persistent aches, especially in your knees, hips, or spine, are your body's way of saying, hey, slow down. I need help here. Doctors recommend breaking up your walking sessions instead of doing one long stretch. For example, instead of walking for a full hour at once, try two shorter sessions, 20 to 30 minutes each. Choose softer surfaces like park trails or dirt paths instead of concrete sidewalks. And please don't underestimate the power of good shoes. Your shoes should have proper cushioning, support your arches, and protect your heels. Many people assume that if they can walk in them, they're good enough, but the wrong shoes can make your joint pain even worse. Beyond that, consider mixing up your movement. Gentle stretching, light yoga, or even balance exercises can do wonders for your joints and circulation, and they're often more effective for longevity than simply walking more. I know a woman who switched her routine at age 74. She stopped doing one long walk in the morning and replaced it with two light yoga sessions and a short walk in the afternoon. After just a few weeks, she told me she felt less sore, more energized, and surprisingly, happier. Her sleep improved. Her knees didn't ache as much, and she no longer felt like exercising was a chore. It became something she actually enjoyed. Adjusting your routine doesn't mean giving up on physical activity. It just means being smarter about it. At this stage in life, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what's right for your body. Exercise should help you feel alive, not leave you worn out. Once you're over 70, the focus shouldn't just be on how you move, but also on how you recover after movement. This is something many people overlook. They think, I exercised, I'm done. But actually, it's during the rest and recovery time that your body repairs itself, rebuilds muscles, and keeps you feeling younger. If you keep pushing yourself without proper rest, you're slowly wearing down your own engine. Have you ever noticed that after a long walk, you feel sluggish for the rest of the day? That's a signal. It's your body saying, I'm exhausted. And at this age, we don't need to push like we did in our 40s or 50s. What we need now is balance, gentle movement, steady energy, and time to recharge. A good exercise session should leave you feeling refreshed, not drained. Another common issue is walking at the wrong times of day, like during the midday heat or in the cold early morning. These things may seem minor, but they can have a big impact. After 70, our bodies don't regulate temperature as well. Walking in the heat can raise your blood pressure, dehydrate you, and make you dizzy. Cold weather, on the other hand, can stiffen your joints, slow down circulation, and increase the risk of falls or even illness. The best times to walk? Early morning after the sun rises, or late afternoon when things have cooled down. And speaking of falls, this is something we really need to talk about. One of the most overlooked issues with excessive walking is how it affects balance. When you're younger, you move without thinking. But after 70, balance becomes more fragile. Our muscles react slower, our eyesight might decline, and even small uneven surfaces can become hazards. Long walks, especially on uneven paths, can increase your risk of tripping, twisting an ankle, or worse, falling. Instead of obsessing over 10,000 steps a day, focus on how you feel during those steps. Slow down. Breathe deeper. Tune into your body. You might be surprised to hear this, but new studies show that for seniors, walking 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day is more than enough to support heart and joint health. What matters more than quantity is consistency. A short walk every day is far more beneficial than one big walk and then resting for days. And if walking doesn't feel good anymore, if it's causing more discomfort than joy, that's a sign. You might want to consider other forms of movement. Stationary cycling, light resistance training, gentle stretching, gardening, these all count. They're not only easier on the joints, but they often keep you more engaged and excited to move. I remember a 73-year-old woman who used to walk around the park twice every morning, nearly 7,000 steps. She thought she was doing everything right. But after a few months, her ankles started to ache and her lower back stiffened up. A doctor advised her to reduce the long walks and switch to lighter indoor exercises. Within a few weeks, her pain eased, and she started sleeping better too. Your body doesn't lie. It's always giving you feedback. You just have to listen. After 70, your recovery is just as important as your activity. Treat your exercise routine as an act of kindness to your body, not a test of endurance. You don't need to stop walking completely, but you do need to walk smarter. Know when to rest. Know when to move. Ask yourself, what does my body need today? Sometimes the answer might be a gentle stroll, or maybe a quiet morning with a cup of tea and a good book. Real health isn't about how far you can go. It's about how well you care for yourself in each moment. As we keep going, I want to invite you to take a quiet moment and check in with your body. How are you feeling right now? Are your knees a little sore? Do your feet feel stiff when you get up in the morning? Or maybe your energy just doesn't bounce back like it used to, even when you're doing all the right things. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply at a stage in life where your body is asking for a different kind of care. And listening to it might be the most powerful thing you can do. There's something we don't talk about enough, and that's the emotional relationship we have with movement. Over the years, it's easy to slip into routines where walking becomes a task, something to tick off the list. I have to get my steps in. I didn't walk today. I've fallen behind. But here's the truth. Movement should never feel like a punishment. It should feel like a gift. Something you do with love, not pressure. Something that leaves you feeling more alive, not more tired. When we shift our mindset away from how much and toward how it feels, something beautiful starts to happen. You begin to notice how your body responds. A gentle stroll without any rush. A walk where you're not counting steps or checking the time. Just moving, breathing, being. That kind of movement, calm, mindful, intentional, can do more for your health and happiness than 1,000 4 steps ever could. And maybe some days the best kind of movement isn't walking at all. Maybe it's sitting on your porch, stretching your arms toward the sky. Maybe it's turning on soft music and slowly swaying in the kitchen. Or maybe it's tending to your plants, folding laundry, or taking a few deep breaths while the kettle boils. These things might seem small, but they nourish your body in gentle, powerful ways. They increase circulation, ease tension, and give your joints a chance to move without strain. After 70, we often hear messages that sound like warnings. Keep moving or else you'll fall apart. But that kind of fear-based thinking doesn't help anyone. You don't need to keep pushing harder or walking farther. You need to move better, with kindness, with rhythm, with respect for what your body can and cannot do today. Some of the healthiest, happiest seniors I've met aren't walking 5 miles a day, or trying to beat a step counter. They're living slowly, intentionally. They garden. They stretch in the sunlight. They carry a basket of fruit or dance in their living room. And they rest too. They take naps without guilt. They sit down when they need to. They know that recovery isn't a sign of weakness, it's a form of wisdom. And if you're one of those people who's been feeling a little guilty lately for not walking as much, let me tell you this. There's nothing to feel guilty about. You're not falling behind. You're tuning in. You're honoring your body. And that's what real self-care looks like. So if you've been walking long distances every day and wondering why your joints feel worse, not better, if you've been pushing through fatigue thinking that's the healthy thing to do, maybe it's time to look at movement a different way. Maybe it's time to ask, what feels good for me right now? Not what your old routine says, not what your pedometer says, but what your body says. Because it's always speaking to you. Every ache, every sigh, every moment of tension, it's a message. And the more you listen, the better you'll feel. Instead of asking yourself, did I walk enough today? Try asking, did I move in a way that made me feel good today? That little shift can change everything. Because aging well isn't about keeping up, it's about showing up for yourself gently every day. And when you move with that kind of intention, something beautiful happens. You begin to feel more energized, not because you did more, but because you did what was right for you. So don't be afraid to slow down. Don't be afraid to rest. Don't be afraid to find your own pace. This stage of life isn't a race. It's a time for grace, for softness, and for deep appreciation of your body, just as it is. And if any part of today's message resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your experience. Has your relationship with walking or movement changed over the years? What helps your body feel its best these days? Your story might help someone else feel seen and supported too. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps others find this kind of content. And if you want more simple, uplifting tips for staying strong, happy, and healthy at any age, don't forget to subscribe. We're building a community where aging isn't something to fear. It's something to celebrate. You're not defined by how far you walk or how many steps you take. You're defined by how you care for yourself, how you listen, how you choose kindness over pressure. So here's to you, and to living well, walking wisely, and aging with strength, softness, and grace.